Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we're going to be talking about what I picked up during the Sephora VIB sale. If you watched my videos during the month of April, you will know that April for me was a no-buy month. I did a full month of nothing new here on my channel. So I knew at the end of that month the Sephora VIB sale was just around the corner. There was a part of me that was a little bit afraid of that. I was afraid I would just go crazy after not buying anything for a month, but I reminded myself that I'm not really a binge buyer anyways, and I actually found the opposite to be true. I was very strategic in what I picked up during this sale. Everything was very well researched. I watched a lot of recommendation videos, I read a lot of reviews, and I really narrowed it down to things that I really felt like added something to my collection and what I'm really looking for and wanting to use lately. So I'm going to share those with you guys today. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope that you will stick around, hit that subscribe button so that you don't forget about me. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into what I picked up during the Sephora sale. So I'm going to start off by giving a little spoiler. 100% of the products that I picked up were complexion products. And that's kind of unheard of for me, but it kind of shows an interesting shift in I think what's happening with my makeup preferences. Don't get me wrong, I am and will always be a lover of eyeshadows. They are by far my favorite thing to play with, to collect in my makeup collection, but what I've realized over the last several months is that I have more eyeshadows than I can possibly really enjoy. So I definitely knew I was not going to pick up any eyeshadow palettes. But I've also been really into kind of finding complexion products that really make my skin look its best. I know I talk about my age a lot in my videos, which I hope is not annoying to you guys, but I'm in my late 30s, and once you pass that 35 mark, I feel like you start to notice that not every makeup product or makeup technique looks good on your skin anymore. And one shift that I've been noticing is especially with some powder products and using too many powder products or layering too many powder products on top of themselves, it ends up just not looking very good on my skin. I am starting to notice some texture on my skin that I didn't notice several years ago. So lately I've been noticing that cream products just tend to look a little bit better on my skin. So I have a couple products that kind of had that mindset in mind. There are a couple powder products here as well, and then I have something that's been on my wish list for a very long time. So I want to kick off with that wish list item, and that is the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury. I've been wanting to try this out for over a year now. It was actually out of stock for about 6 months. I probably would have picked this up during the last Sephora sale. I picked it up in the shade number 2. I'm going to show you guys this right here. So this is kind of a mystery product. If you read the information about this product, it's one of those things that you read about and you think, okay, well, what is this? Is it a primer? Is it a highlighter? Is it a foundation? And the answer to those questions is kind of yes and no to all three of those questions. It's a very multi-purpose product. It's sort of a highlighter. You can see here, there's quite a bit of sheen to this, but it also has a bit of a base color to it. So if you have extremely good skin, if you have not a lot of things to cover, you don't have a lot of redness, you don't have a lot of acne scarring or hyperpigmentation, if you have really good coloring, I think this would be such a beautiful product just to kind of put lightly all over your skin to give you a nice healthy glow. I can't necessarily do that because I do need more coverage, but I think this is a very beautiful product. I am wearing it today underneath my foundation. I do have a Get Ready With Me featuring some of these products that will be coming up in a couple of days. In that Get Ready With Me, I did apply a little bit of this underneath my foundation and a tiny bit on top, and you could definitely see the glow that this gives. It's a very subtle, soft glow, so if you are someone that struggles with powder highlighters or even liquid highlighters, if you're a little bit older, if you have a lot of texture on this area of your skin, this I think would be the perfect option for you, because this is probably the most subtle, natural looking highlight I've ever tried, but I'd almost not call it a highlight because it's such a subtle effect, but it definitely is noticeable. It just makes your skin look very beautiful. I can't say anything definitive because I've only used this for about 3 days now, but I'm really enjoying this. I've heard a couple of people compare this to the Milani Soft Focus Glow. Let me know if you guys want to see me do a comparison on these two products. Once I have tried this one out enough and I have a really good feel of how this works for me, I'm going to bounce back to this one and try this one out and see if it really does do a similar thing on my skin. So let me know if you guys would like to see a video on that, or if you'd like me just to kind of talk about that in a future haul update or favorites video. Perhaps one of these items will make it in there. I've been wanting to try something from Charlotte Tilbury for a very long time, but I think as my skin is changing, as I'm getting a little bit older, I definitely feel like this could become a staple in my collection. Next up is a foundation. This is by Sephora. This is their 10-Hour Wear Perfection Foundation. I have it in the shade Linen, number 16. This was a bit of a spontaneous purchase for me. I initially heard Mariah Leonard talking about this foundation in a recent video. She talked about how much she loved it, how nobody else was talking about it, and generally her foundation recommendations work very well for me. I typically like the things that she recommends. I initially wanted to try out the Josie Maran foundation, which you guys might know was in my wish list that I did several months back. But I decided to go with this one because it was quite a bit cheaper and because she recommended it so highly. I do have this foundation on today. I have been wearing it for the last couple of days. This reminds me of a more dewy version of the L'Oreal Fresh Wear foundation. It just has a little bit more glow in it than that one does, but it's definitely not as glowy as, say, the Flower Beauty or the It Cosmetics CC Cream. But I really enjoy this one. I think it has good coverage. The shade match of this is really nice for me. I do love the finish, and I do think that it lasts really well on my skin. So the next thing I have is a cream product, and it's from the brand Kosas. This is a newer brand that I've only recently heard people talking about. Jessica Braun talked about this product in a recent video that she did. It might have been her Sephora recommendations, but this is basically a cream duo. It has a highlighter on one side and a cream blush on the other side. She raved about this product in that video, and it looked really, really beautiful on her skin, so I wanted to give it a try. I'm really happy with this so far. I haven't actually tried out the highlighter side. I have swatched it. In fact, I'll swatch it for you guys right now. This is the highlighter. When you get this, it actually looks like a powder product, but as you press your finger into it and really kind of warm it up, it turns this very, almost like a liquidy cream. It just turns very, very, very emollient and soft. So there's the highlighter right there. It's super subtle. It actually reminds me of a, I don't want to say the word greasy because I feel like that's so off-putting. I don't think it's greasy, but it feels a little bit more of a greasy texture than the Charlotte Tilbury does, but it has that same very subtle kind of sheen to it. I picked it up in the color 8th Muse, which is kind of just a very neutral pink and a champagne highlight. There's that color right there. It's kind of a very plum toned pink. It's a very natural looking pink. If you like a youthful kind of flush, I love a pink like this on the cheeks, and I'm very happy with this so far. I think it's very, very natural looking, very beautiful. I'm wearing it right now. You can barely see it on your cheeks, but you can see it. It gives you just that kind of healthy flush that looks very natural, like it's just, you just look like that, you know, which don't we all want that? So the next product is another thing that was on my recent wish list that I did, and it's from Hourglass. I ended up picking up a mini version of one of their ambient lighting bronzers. This one is in the color Diffused Bronze Light. It's absolutely beautiful. I've worn this for a few days. I have it on right now just in this area right here. It's very natural looking, and it's almost looks like a cream product even though it's not a cream product. It just really blends into your skin. I'll try and swatch this for you guys. I don't know how well it will show up because it's very, very subtle, but you can definitely see it. It's very beautiful. I'm kind of disappointed though in the size of this, which sounds ridiculous. I knew it was going to be a mini, but something about pulling this out of the box and opening it up and I was like, that is the size of an eyeshadow. It's seriously mini. There's a part of me that wishes I would have just spent the extra 20 bucks and got the full size because I feel like this is kind of an investment piece. Be aware that these small sizes are quite small. I don't know if I've ever seen someone hold up a mini in their hand and compare it to, say, like this is the ColourPop Flexitarian highlighter. This is smaller than the Flexitarian highlighter, and these are, I mean, they're not tiny, but it's quite small. That's all I'm going to say. It is quite small. So if you are not okay with that, if you like bang for your buck, I would just probably get the full size. The next thing that I picked up is from Natasha Denona. I picked up her Super Glow highlighter. This is in the shade 2. This one's a little bit more of a champagne color. I initially had shade number 1 in my cart, but I decided that one might be a little bit too intense, a little bit too icy for me. This is a perfect color for me. It has just the slightest touch of a gold kind of undertone to it, so I think it will look amazing when my skin's a little bit more tan, but it's also not too dark to where I don't think it would work in the wintertime as well. I'll go ahead and swatch this one for you guys just right here. You can see it's just so pretty. It has such a pretty color to it. I think even if you're quite fair skinned, if you like a more subtle highlight, I think this shade would be perfect for you because it does look a little bit more natural. It's one of those highlights that when you're looking straight on, you can't really tell you have a highlighter on until you kind of turn right into the light, and then it kind of like catches the light and just looks perfect. I'm really excited to have this. I don't have a lot of higher end highlights, so I think this is a good addition. So the last thing I picked up, I actually haven't tried out yet, and I am so excited to give this thing a try. This is from Nude Sticks. I picked up one of their all over bronze color sticks. This one is in the color Sunkissed. I heard really good things about this specific color, especially because it's supposed to be a very different kind of bronzer product, and I love the idea behind this. So this is not a very brown toned bronzer. It's much more of a red toned bronzer to kind of mimic a true sunburn. There's those times where you get just a touch of a sunburn when you're not fried, but you just get just like a hint of sun, and you have that just warmth to your skin that looks like you got just the right amount of sun. Like it's not good for you, but it looks so good. If you guys have ever had that happen, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this for you guys on the back of my hand. You can see it right here. It definitely has a bronze undertone to it, but it's much more of like a terracotta sort of red. I think blended out on the cheeks, this could look so beautiful, and it's very unique to anything else that I have. So I am really excited to try this out. I think for like a nice bronzy summery look, this would be such a beautiful product. I'm really excited to give this a try. I'm really wanting to use this maybe in an upcoming video. I'm thinking I might do a something old something new. I haven't done one of those for a while, using this and then maybe an older eyeshadow palette. Let me know if that's something you guys would like to see. So excited about this. And that is the last product that I picked up from the Sephora sale. I did also want to share with you guys the things that didn't quite make the cut. So there's a handful of products that I had in my cart that I was planning on purchasing, but because I wanted to stay under budget, I had to cut some things out of my cart. But I thought it'd be fun to hear about the things that I wanted to get, but I just didn't quite have the budget for this time, or decided now was just not the right time for that. So the first thing that I ended up taking out of my cart was another one of the Obsessions palettes from Huda Beauty. I love these palettes. I would love to collect all of these, but I knew going into this sale that I really did not need another eyeshadow palette right now. There were two of those palettes I was trying to decide between. The Amethyst palette, which is the kind of pinky purple toned palette, and also the Topaz palette, which is kind of the very bronzy toned palette. I know that I would probably love either of those eyeshadow palettes, but I have so many eyeshadow palettes in my collection right now. I knew I didn't need those. I knew they didn't really add anything that I didn't already have. So I decided to wait on those. Another thing that didn't quite make the cut was a brush, and it was a Sephora Collection Pro Blending Brush number 27. I've heard a couple people mention this brush. I don't know quite who, but I've heard them say that this is kind of a dupe for the MAC 217. You guys might know that the MAC 217 is one of my all-time favorite brushes, and I really want to try to find a dupe for that brush. Mine is getting very old. It's kind of starting to wear out, and I feel like I need to find a replacement for it, but I'm not sure that I want to buy another MAC 217 because they have changed their brushes. The new one is actually a synthetic brush. The one that I have is non-synthetic. So I was curious to try out this Sephora one. It is still $22, which I think is a little bit pricey, but I am definitely on the lookout for a dupe for that MAC 217 brush. So another thing that I ended up taking out of my cart was the Josie Maran Vibrancy foundation. I mentioned this when I was talking about the Sephora foundation. I ended up going with that one because it was a little bit cheaper, and I have quite a few foundations in my collection, and I like to go through my foundations. I do not like getting rid of foundations and not using them up. So I really want to be able to use up the ones I have before they expire. But I also was almost over budget, so I decided to save a little bit of money so that I could get the Charlotte Tilbury product. I went with the Sephora one instead. But I do still have that on my wish list. I still would like to give that one a try. I just want to wait until I finish one or two of my foundations that I already have. One more thing that I ended up taking out of my cart was one of the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascaras. The one that I've had for a long time. It's pretty much expired. There's quite a bit of product still in it, but it's dried out, it's old, I need to not use it anymore, and I really want to replace this mascara. I had intentions of buying this during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale because it was half price. I forgot to buy it the day that it was on sale. I think we were out of town, but I decided to wait because I have a lot of mascaras open in my collection right now. None of them do I love as much as I love this mascara, but a lot of them I really like. So I'm going to wait a little bit. I've heard some people say that you can get this mascara like 2 for the price of 1 or something on QVC, so I might keep an eye out there, or I might just wait until the next Ulta sale and try picking it up then if it's on sale, or maybe wait till I build up some points. I would pay full price for this mascara. I really do love it that much. But like I said, I have a lot of mascaras open right now, and mascara is another one of those products I don't like to throw away without using them up all the way. It just bothers me. It feels wasteful to me. It's one of those products I like to try and use up all the way before I buy another one. The last thing I want to mention, this is something I wanted to put in my cart and I wanted to actually buy. It was out of stock, and it's the Milk Makeup Bronzer Stick. I am dying to try that product. I am on their email list. That is something that as soon as it comes back in stock, I think I'm going to go ahead and pick it up because I'm really anxious to try that one. I want to give that one a try and compare it to the Wet n Wild one that I've been talking about and loving. I just am quite certain that that's a product I really would love, and people have been absolutely raving about that thing. So I will definitely pick that up when it comes back in stock. And that is it for my Sephora VIB sale haul. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you guys ended up picking up during the Sephora sale. Have you guys tried any of these products out? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you're not yet subscribed, I hope that you will hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Every time I say the phrase my collection, I always think of The Little Mermaid. Always. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Go ahead and swatch this. Why am I swatching with my left hand? Mandy, that's just...